When you spend money out of pocket for work-related purposes, you expect to be reimbursed fairly and promptly. But what happens when your employer disputes those expenses or refuses to reimburse you at all? Let's talk about how to handle disputes over employment expense reimbursements and what your legal rights are in California. In California, the law is very clear. Under Labor Code Section 2802, employers are required to reimburse employees for all necessary expenditures or losses incurred in direct consequence of their job duties. This includes mileage or gas for work-related travel, use of a personal cell phone or internet for work, office supplies or equipment purchased for remote work, required training or certification costs, business meals or travel expenses. If you paid for something that was necessary for your job, your employer has a legal obligation to reimburse you. The most effective way to prevent and resolve disputes is to keep meticulous records. Save receipts and invoices, credit card or bank statements showing proof of payment, emails or instructions that show the purchase was required for your job, notes about the time, location, and purpose of the expense. The more organized your documentation is, the stronger your position will be when disputing a denied reimbursement. Most companies have expense reimbursement policies, and it's important to follow them, such as submitting expenses within a certain time frame or using approved vendors. However, if a policy conflicts with California labor law, the law prevails. For example, your employer can't refuse to reimburse a necessary expense just because it wasn't pre-approved, unless that policy is reasonable and consistently enforced. If your expense was necessary and job-related, your employer still may owe you, regardless of internal red tape. If your expense is denied, start by communicating in writing with your manager or HR. Be professional and factual. Explain what the expense was for, why it was necessary for your job, when it occurred, what documentation you have. Ask for a formal reconsideration. Many disputes are resolved at this stage once all the facts are presented. If internal efforts don't lead to a resolution and you're still owed money, you have options. You can file a claim with the California Labor Commissioner's office, pursue a claim in small claims court, contact an employment attorney to explore your legal options. These steps can lead to recovery of not only the unpaid expenses, but potentially interest, penalties, and legal fees as well. You should never have to pay out of pocket to do your job. California law protects employees from bearing the financial burden of necessary work-related expenses. If you're involved in a dispute over reimbursement and need guidance on your next steps, visit employeelawgroup.com. We're here to help you protect your rights and your paycheck.